Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? So I got up this morning, played a few blitz games. I played about 9 or so. Lost my first one, which I think was it was a Danish. Yeah, I played against the Danish and lost. And then I've won like 7 in a row, so that's not bad. Including this one. You see there's 8 moves here. I also had 8 moves yesterday as well, with high accuracy. And this is brilliant because it was the von Hennig Gambit. And in both of these games, both of these 8 move wins, it's the Caro Khan. And this is bizarre because I'm playing like 1300 rated opponents who are Caro players. And then instead of going the kind of normal kind of, I don't know, too early in the morning. Gambit line with f3 straight away, throw the bishop out. They will just develop their knight because they can't develop this knight, and so on. And then you do this. They pin, and in both of the games, I tried. And in this one, 2 seconds. No, 1.5 seconds immediately, and then he sits there. Right, you notice he's on 4 minutes 46 now, and I'm on 4 minutes 55. I've literally used 5 seconds so far. Right, he sits there for nearly 30 seconds, 28.6 seconds, and I even have time to type in the chat, "Oh no, my queen," right? And he takes the queen and forced to mate, instant mate, right? Knight defends the bishop, knight covers the only escape square, that's it, game over, good night. Anyway, so that's lots of fun, and I've done it twice in 24 hours, the exact same move sequence. Okay, so we're going to take on a 15-10 rapid. I'm feeling quite good, feeling quite attacking. My opponent rated 15-21, and I've only got about 2 flies zipping around the office right now. Okay, so we're going e4, e5. Knight f3, knight c6. So far so normal. Now I had somebody play this d3 earlier on today. Okay, so we're getting a Rousseau Gambit. Yeah. So it might be worth doing a video on this, which leads, and you can play f5 there. You go into a version of the Latvian. The Latvian Gambit, if you imagine these 2 pieces aren't here, is e4, e5, knight out, and then the immediate f5. And it's dubious, but probably okay for bullet and blitz. Now this is kind of a version of the Latvian. Now if he takes, I just push. Need to remember my Rousseau. You get the Rousseau a lot. This is actually the most common move on average across all levels. If you look on like Lichess Explorer, the Italian is most common. Re Lopez is second most common, and third I think is the Scotch, followed by the Ponziani with c3. But this move here, instead of the bishop coming out, this d3 here is played less than 1% of the time. So it's not very common at all. And it just doesn't make a whole bunch of sense because you're blocking in your bishop. And, this pawn isn't under attack, so why defend it? Okay, so he takes. Alrighty, so now I can push here, and he can't go there or there because of my knight. And he can't go there or there because of my queen. So the only real moves are either to retreat all the way to g1 or queen e2 to pin the pawn. Now, the queen e2 I think is inaccurate because I just respond with queen e7, and then the knight's problem hasn't gone away. Opponent is Joy Deep 518 from India, rated 1521. Okay, and he retreats. Now, I think I have to play this immediately because otherwise we could have the queen problem. So, it's worth just checking out. Let's say, what else am I going to do? Let's say I, play bishop out here, queen here, I push, pawn takes. I can't recapture because I lose the rook. So, knight f6, general purpose, good developing move anyway. Yeah, d5 is the other move that's kind of begging, hitting the bishop. And also with a discovered attack on f5, which should win back my pawn. And look where we are. You know, this is all good. So now I can play d5 because it's a higher danger level than this. He's got really two options, and both of them are fine for me, I think. Also notice that because I've developed my queen's knight now defends my queen. So that in the event of an opening d-file, okay. I think bishop takes has to be the correct move here. And if pawn takes here, I can recapture with the bishop, or I can recapture with a knight. Also extra defends this pawn. It's got to be correct. And look at the board now, right? We've both lost a pawn, but I've lost the f pawn, my opponent has lost the e pawn. So I have 2 pawns in the center, they have 1. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces developed, so they have 1. Now, big question. Currently this pawn is defended 2 times. This knight is pinned, can't help. Okay. Bishop or knight? I think bishop. One reason is that we then attack g2 and the rook on h1. The other reason is that the knight's still got a job to do defending that, although g6 is now playable because there's no pawn. Bishop, if he kicks, I'll just maybe drop back to g6, something like that. What about the knight? Let's have a quick look at the knight. No, I think bishop. Nice position for black. Yeah. Might even think about, okay, I don't really buy this. This pawn is defended twice, attacked once. I can just drop back quite easily. I'm going to drop back to g6, like I said. Still eyeing up this, but you see that pawn, the c pawn is defended only by the queen in the same way that the f pawn is defended only by the king. So the queen's now really tied to the defense of that pawn, which is, you know, not in her pay grade, really. Thinking maybe queen here, just to defend the knight, let me get long castled, develop quickly, bishop over there would be nice. And this f pawn move, you see, oh. Really? I mean, I've got bishop blocks. Okay, now I have a lead in development, and when you have a lead in development, I do not think it makes sense to trade. However, let's say I play queen e7, right? Takes, then I've got options of castling either side. All my minor pieces are off the back rank, whereas he's still got 3 at home. Yeah? And this is forced, but this really forces a trade, you know? But actually, I don't want to initiate a trade. Queen here, if he just sits tight, I'll just castle. Oh, but then this is a problem. Because then he takes and I do this, okay. So I'm going to block with a bishop. Still go back to the idea of queen d6 and long castles, I think. And then rook h to e8 and make this a problem for my opponent. I think that was okay. Now he does have the option to take here, and I can only recapture with a b pawn. So it's now or never for that move, really, because otherwise the queen's going to come up defending everything. Okay, what's the idea with that? He wants to come in here. Queen's still defending this, it has to be noted. Oh, by the way, I could have traded queens and then just won a pawn, couldn't I, as well? That's a thought. There. What about short castles? So if he comes in here, what's his idea? He wants to come in da-da, attacking this and attacking my queen. It's a bit slow though, isn't it? Hoppity hoppity hop. Gives your opponent a little bit of time to see you coming. Okay. Both squares are defended by bishop. I can defend this one, but I can't easily defend this one. Can't move my bishop, that's pinned. My knight's pinned. I feel like queen here, he goes there, hits the bish. I might move my bish. Then he comes in here. He's not really attacking much. Or do I just should I just castle out of trouble? Let's castle out of trouble. Then I've got ideas of immediate rook e8, double check, win the queen. He comes in here now. Rook e8, he can have my bishop because I win his queen outright, do I not? Do I not? There. He takes bishop, he's not even attacking my rook. I get my other bishop out of the way. That's a double check. He has to move his king. If you get a double check, I believe you always have to move your king because you can't block two checks in one move. You can't capture two pieces in one move. You can't block one check and capture another piece. No, not in one. No, I don't think it's possible. Oh, but now I have this. I mean, that immediately jumps out, right? That's check. Discovery on the queen. He's still in check. He can't even sack the big exchange. Now, what's not to like about this? He can block with the queen, lose the queen. I've just got to play it, haven't I? I've just got to play it. Straight away. Did he fail to spot the discovery? He can't have done. I think he saw the alignment problem there. But surely you're looking at... I mean, that was literally my last move. My last move was rook e8. And then you've got to go, well, why did my opponent play that move? You get extra points for twatting a fly halfway through a video. But anyway, I think that's almost resignable now. He's in check. He's got to get out of check on the next move. How many legal ways are there to do it? That, I take his queen. That, I take his queen. And the rook's pinned. And then I take his rook next. So that's not going to work. Queen blocks, I take his queen. Either square. I think that's it. I think he's, to use a advanced chess term, buggered. He's buggered right in the ear. Okay, good night, queen. That was easy. Okay, now you take the rook. The bishop. Alright, so now what we do, rule number one, nothing. First thing, what we do is we take stock. Now, knight's looking at this. My bishop is also, remember, looking at this c2 pawn. I think I should grab that pawn because it does two things. I don't want him to take my bishop and screw my pawns up. So that is candidate move one for your consideration. Knight attacks his pawn. Happy pawn. Knight is defended, so I've got ideas of like lifting the queen up or whatever. But I don't see a better move than this. Wins me more stuff. So I'm up a queen and a pawn for a rook. Not bad. Now I can simply simplify down. Just trade down to my heart's content. Should be okay. But this is not the time to relax. We know this. Bishop there is a thought. And look, he's still got all his other stuff. Still all his stuff is on the board, apart from his queen. So the game is not won. If we were titled players, it would be over. He would have resigned. We ain't title players. Okay. Now, how do I force trades? That's a thought. Just send Dave the D-pawn to his doom. I've got 10 minutes. Chill. Have a drink of coffee. Calmer than you are. Calmer than you are. Movie reference. Miko, you'll know that one. Just sitting here drinking my coffee. Enjoying my coffee. Alright, now relax. Okay, so idea number one. Idea number one. Pawn to d4, hitting the knight. Knight can't go there, gets taken by my knight. Knight can't go there, gets taken by my knight. These two squares aren't great, that particularly is not great. So where's the knight going to go? Here? Hit him again? Then where's he go? I'm doing it. And then I think something like this. And then I've got a real problem. You see, all he's got to capture with right now is pieces, like minor pieces. His pawns, he's got no central pawns. So if I just stick a pawn and a bishop combo, you know, they lock together. Pawn defends bishop, bishop defends pawn. It's a very common endgame structure. You fit and forget, sorted. In fact, where's his bishop got to go? Only there, and I can trade off if I want. Ah, he's thrown in a checkity-doodah. I see your mind. I see your mind. He wants to come in here with his knight. He hasn't given up yet. This isn't playable because it's attacked 3 times. He's got very good eyes on that square now. Now if I go here, he wants to come in with his knight. Does he? He wants to put his knight there, but he can't actually. It's too many jumps. I think I kind of have to go in the corner. If I go here, he goes there with a royal fork, so that's just simply not playable. There's only 2 legal moves, I think, and that's the only good one. So, but still this is coming. Now his bishop's got out of the trap, you see. Where his bishop was here, pawn d3, blocked it in. But this is still great. I mean, it locks this rook out of the game. It opens up this bishop. It means his king has no squares to move to. Queen d6 is a thought now. Oh no, it's not. It's still defended. But yeah, d3 is just a very nice move. I want to get my queen off the back rank. I want to engage my a rook. Probably get it to e8. Control the open file. So both of us need to concentrate. You can't ever stop concentrating. My knight would also love that square. But this knight is fine. This knight is good. I think. Well, my immediate thought is just trade. Trade everything, simplify. I'm just doing it. It's just one of those things where you really don't have to think too hard. He wants to put his knight there, but if his knight takes here now, okay, it actually takes a knight 4 jumps to get from there to there, if you think about it, right? So it takes 2 jumps to move 1 diagonal, and then another 2 to move the other one. There is no quicker way. You know, 1, 2, 3, 4. It always takes 4 jumps, however you do it, for a knight to move 2 diagonal squares. Okay, now, I could even do something like this. If his bishop takes me, I take his knight. What about this? Hit the knight. What about this? Hit the bishop. Bishop can't take the pawn because I take the knight. This hits the bishop. Bishop can only retreat there. Then I think that's good. I think it is. Knight can't come here, knight can't come here. He's got no checks. It's on, I'm doing it. Bishop comes here, we trade off and the knight is lost. I'm alright on the back rank because I've still got my a rook that's doing a fine job, even though it hasn't even woken up yet. You can't take because the knight is lost and the queen defends knight. This is hopeless position. Knight can't go there, gets took, gets took, gets took. Can go there, can't go there, can't go there, can't go there. So if the knight wants to escape, it's got that, but then the bishop falls. You have two pieces under attack. So, that was just a bad move, wasn't it? Didn't think it through. Did not think it through. Joy deep, 518. The simplest way to improve at chess is to think deeper. It's not easy, but it's simple. I'm going to do a whole video on that soon. Got a really nice position to share with you guys. While my opponent's having a think, I'm going fly hunting. Where's it? Going hid. Oh, okay, this is a desperado. I take the knight. His bishop now can grab the pawn, but he's now lost another piece. So I'm thinking this because it traps the bishop in. Then this, and this is now pretty hopeless. He's back. Okay, so now he's trying to engage his rooks, I get it. This is not a bad move. Hits the bishop. Might even put my knight in there and plug up the open file, right? I don't want to fall to any horrible back rank tactics with my king in the corner here. Okay, this is not bad. I can play knight here and hit the bishop again. I'm just slightly nervous about that move. Because if he trades off, right, if we trade off on there, he's got a potential mate in one. So I'm thinking knight here still, with the idea of knight to e2 and just bung everything up. But then that kind of overburdens this pawn, because the pawn's then the only defender of the bishop and the only defender of the knight as well, if the knight is also there. So what's the right thing? If I've got bishop here, how does he defend both of these? Bishop here, he's got bishop there. It's just simplifying. He can't push because he loses the rook. He can't play rook there because he loses. I've also got bishop here, which actually covers the E1 square, which is an important square. I'm going to do bishop here, I think. Give him a problem. I've also got to watch the clock, I'm at 8 minutes now. No, it should be alright. He can trade off, which just suits me. And these two guys are just, that's just gorgeous, right? Covering these squares off. Got less control over the dark squares a bit. If he plays rook here, I might always do this. But then he just moves back and I have to move out again. Okay, he's trading off. It's fine. This is all good. We like. Right, I've got knight here. Hits the bishop. It's defended by the queen. That's not bad. Oh, bishop has hit twice actually. Because there's a discovery by the queen, so... If I could even play knight there, you see, if he takes, I get the bishop. Knight here with the idea of knight there. Or do I create an escape square? I play something like g6. No real rush. Sometimes it's really hard, you know, to convert these kinds of positions. I'll go here. Bishop can't go there. Can retreat. Can also go here and hit my rook, but that's just asking for trouble. I think that looks alright. If he does this, I think I'll just play rook e8, and then the pawn hangs. And I honestly don't know how he defends it. What do I, rook d8 or e8? d8 attacks the pawn, and he's also got an attacked bishop. e8 defends the knight again. Now I'm going to attack the bishop. I'm going to go after the material. He's got, again, 2 pieces under attack. That's not bad. Okay, I could actually sack the exchange here. I can also just win the pawn, actually. I can just win the pawn. Wins. He's not going to trade off. Get pawn. Rook here. Can't see a problem. I've still got my rook on the back rank. My queen can always drop down to the back rank and just play it being a rook for a bit. It's just dead lost. And he's decided to trade off. Okay, rook is on the back rank. No worries. This is all fine. Queen can take the pawn. Queen is also guarding there. You'd be a fool to trade off now. I mean, that's just giving up the game. Because then I can play queen here. Rook's pinned. Even this might be winning, I don't know. That attacks the rook. Rook has to move here, gets taken. Coup de Grâce. Coup de Grâce is French for the blow of mercy. To put an animal out of its misery. Not coup de grace, as a lot of people say. No. I'm thinking d2. Or even just queen here, I don't know. It's everything wins, anyway. d2 also prevents the rook coming on that open file. This rook can't go on the open file. If you look at resignable in the dictionary, you can resign now, Troy D. It's fine. Okay. See that rook? That's mine, that is. Right, and now you can resign. Now you really can resign. Okay, he's going to play for the stalemate game. Right, let's have a game of stalemate. Okay, so let's say, I mean, he's got this. Whether I take the rook or queen, he's got that. So I'm going to take the queen. And now I'm just going to promote Andy. Andy, and then give check on the dark squares, and there we go. Okay, all done. Quick look at the game review. Did I make any blunders? A blunder-free game would have been ace. There, you bastard. What are you doing? No blunders. 92! 92 on a 33-move game. Oh, yes. One mistake. One inaccuracy. Well, that is good. Rook e8 is a mistake. You are correct. There was a fork. Yes. Fork with a knight on here. But this move, mistake? I think not. How's he gone from like minus 3.6 to minus 7, and he calls it a mistake, not a blunder? I think if it's well over a 1 pawn difference, it's a blunder. Like 2 pawns, definitely a blunder in my book. But yeah, and from this point, he's just lost out of it. Good result, very, very good. A good example of converting a winning position as well, which is something that I know is a weak area of my game, something that I'm working on. Hope it's useful for you guys. Thanks for watching. See you later.